What is up, YouTube? My name is David Lee, and you're watching Asian with Cards, and we got the legend, the beast, a true hero, or sometimes a true villain.
That's right. So I'm a true hero. My real name is Cairo, but anyway, you can just call me a true hero. And I came in second place at the first ever Edison Konami sponsored event. There were over 250 entrants. I lost to Value Turbo in the finals, and I did quite well. So here I am with the deck profile, so we can just get right into it.
And you were second place, right?
Second place.
Second place.
So first up, Dark Arm. A lot of Diva Hero players are not playing Dark Arm, and they're just wrong. Guys, Dark Arm, whenever I drop Dark Arm on any game today, I won. Even though, yes, sometimes you might not have 3 darks, he's so powerful. Like, you should be playing Dark Arm. I don't know what else to say. Like, he's amazing. Best card in the format. All right, anyway, next we got Goris. So Goris, staple. I don't even think there's really explanation needed to why people would play Goris, but I'll just get into it quickly. Diva Hero, you do a lot of turns where you like draw and pass, so you leave your board wide open. So when your board's wide open, because you're trying to set up for combo pieces so you can OTK them, right? So you need a card to defend yourself. Now there's 2 different versions of the Diva Hero deck. There's the offensive version and there's the defensive version, right? The defensive versions got popularized by Oscar, who came like in first place at 2 PS5 tournaments, and then like Beast Mode recently came in top 8 at RBT with it too. But I played the offensive version, right? So I'm not going to get into which better. It really just comes down to your play style. Like, if you're more kind of like slow paced, then go for the defensive style. But if you just want to kill your opponent, then go for offensive style. Another reason why I prefer this version is also because you're not going to go into time. None of my matches went into time, not a single one of them. And when you're playing like paper Yu-Gi-Oh, like IRL, like there's that chance that you can go into time. And at this event, there were like modern turn phase rules, which means it just goes end of phase. So there's not like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or anything like that. It's just literally just end of phase. But anyway, Goris, broken card, so you should be playing Goris. We got triple Caius, right? I mean, he's like a boss monster. You summon Caius and your opponent just cry, right? They just cry. They just begin to cry. So he's a boss monster. Every time I resolve Caius, like, my opponent usually gets burned for 1,000. He also removes troublesome cards like, for example, face-up back rows such as Royal Oppression or even Black Rowan. So triple Caius, amazing, right?
Awesome.
Next up, the namesake of the deck, right? Deep Sea Diva. And, I mean, you play that 3. Every deck that runs Deep Sea Diva, with the exception of zombies that only run 2, they play 3 Deep Sea Divas, right? So Deep Sea Diva, Triple Diva, and of course, the target that goes with Diva, you need to play Spine Gilman.
And it's just 1.
Right, and only 1 Spine Gilman. He's always in my hand every game. Actually, that's why I lost the finals. He was in my hand, just hanging out there. But I did win a set, actually, the last round of Swiss of day 1, so round 7, because I drew Spine Gilman. Summoned Spine Gilman, my opponent couldn't beat over it, and like I just kept attacking. So, I mean, Spine Gilman, like me and him, we have a love-hate relationship. But he's the best target to get with Diva. I mean, even you may have heard of Diva Hero Beats, right? Which plays double Spine Gilman, actually. So, I think I don't know if Lost Brew Breaker is out yet, but that card is just not as good as Spine Gilman. Like, the power-up actually matters a lot because it makes Diva 600, and then like, I rather side in the Snowman Eater, so it makes Snowman 400. So if you want to like get that extra 400 in, so anyway, Spine Gilman, great card, right? Next up, still hanging out the monsters, Double Malicious. Another card that I have a love-hate relationship with because I mean, Molly, like, you never want to see this card. You only want to see it in the graveyard. You never want to see it in your hand. And when it isn't in your hand, like, you're usually just sad. So some of the Diva Hero decks, they play like discard traps, such as Phoenix Wing Blast or Regeki Break, but I play zero discard traps. And my reason is because they're just a -1. It's a 2-for-1. And like, yeah, it sounds like cute when like when you go like Regeki Break or Wing Blast and you drop Molly, Treeborn, or Plague, like, yeah, that sounds cute. But what actually happens more times than not is you just drop real cards. And like, you want to keep your advantage as high as possible. So it's just not worth it, like, playing those discard traps. So the next follow-up question might be, well, then how do you get Malicious in the grave? Well, you play, the best way to get him in the grave is actually through Bionic, right? So just make Bionic and just pitch it. And like, of course, you won't always have access to Bionic, but there's other ways to get into graveyard too. Like, I also play, and I'm going to get into them right now, Dark Grepher. So Dark Grepher is another way to get him in the grave, right? So you play Rhoda, you play Dark Grepher, I mean, Bionic, that's literally, and the last way you can get them engraved is through Infernal Prodigy, which I'll get to shortly. But you just go Special Prodigy, sack for Mali, and like, yeah, it might seem like a bad play, but like, it's not, because you get to draw during the end phase. So with those different methods, like, it's good enough to get Malicious in the graveyard. But anyway, Mali, excellent card. Like, he allows the deck to make level 8 synchros along with Caius. A lot of decks in Edison format cannot reliably make level 8 synchros. Like, think of a deck right now. Yeah, probably can't make level 8 synchros. Like, so that's a kind of like advantage of Diva Hero is like, you know, unless you're playing Flame Bell, but if you're playing Flame Bell, then like, no insult to anyone, but it's just not what I would consider like a competitive deck at this point in time. But there was a Flame Bell player that I played at the very last round, round 9, but still. Anyway, Stratos, right? Elemental Hero Stratos. Of course, we need Stratos. He is just amazing. One of the best normal summons in the deck. The cool thing is, like, at Edison format, the 2 best normals, and this isn't just Diva Hero, right? But I think the 2 best normal summons at Edison format are 1, Deep Sea Diva, and 2, Stratos. And Diva Hero plays both of them. You play both Stratos and you play both Deep Sea Diva. And so does Diva Hero B. But anyway, so Stratos is amazing. With Stratos, you can search out Malicious. You can also search out Prodigy. You also can use the second effect to pop back rows and it doesn't target. And also, like, because it's uncertain amount of cards that will hit, if your opponent has Starlight Road, they can even chain to it. Like, Stratos, he's just like, he does it all, man. Stratos is just like, he's the turn 1 opening that you want every single time. So, shout out to Strizzy, right? Next up, we have, of course, the Prodigies, right? These cards pair with the Stratos, and also they pair with Caius, Special Prodigy, sack Caius, pairs with Diva, Special Summon Prodigy, Normal Summon Diva, Synchro, you can make Army Arm, or you can go Diva Effect, get Spine Gilman, make Black Rose, right? So there's so many different, he's just a combo card, basically. He's just a combo card. You either use a combo with Malicious to draw, you combo with Diva to make a Synchro, you combo with Caius to tribute, like, he's just a combo card. And he happens to be a hero too, so he's great. 2's perfect, don't drop it down to 1 or 3. Next up, Plague, Treeborn, Sandgame. So these 3, they're all staples, right? Plague is just a generic tuner. He plays well with Dark Grepher because you can go Dark Grepher, pick Mali, send Plague. Treeborn. Let's talk about Treeborn a bit. So I do not main deck Snowman Eater at all. And a lot of people are playing like, oh, True Hero, like, why don't you play Snowman Eater? It's because Snowman Eater does not generate advantage over time. You guys have to think about the long game, right? And when your opponent attacks into a face down Snowman Eater, like, it's nice you get like a 1-for-1, like it'll destroy your opponent's card, right? In some cases you might even get a plus. But the thing is, it's just like Treeborn, because he continuously comes back from the graveyard, he's a +1 every single turn. Not to mention the deck plays triple Caius. So Treeborn Caius, they work so well together. If you go Future Fusion and you send Mali Treeborn, if they out the Future Fusion, now they have to deal with a Treeborn coming back every single turn. But if you send Snowman and Mali, then like, okay, after you use your Malicious, you don't get more advantage. So many Diva Hero players keep saying like, oh, why do I play Treeborn? Well, now you see why, all right? But I mean, whatever. You can listen to the guy who came in 2nd place or not, I don't care. And Sangan. I mean, Sangan, he searches your heroes, he searches your warders. Like, I even seen some Diva Hero lists that don't play Sangan. Like,
why?
He searches, why aren't you doing it? Like, he searches both parts of your deck. He gets Diva, when you side it, you can get Crow, you can get Falsadina, like, he's amazing. And he's a Dark for Dark Arm. Last but not least, Spirit Reaper. MVP of the day. MVP of the day.
Saved you a lot?
Yes, saved me a lot. And he's also, the deck loses against Royal Oppression, right? And any decks that can like play cards like Vanity's Fiend. Spirit Reaper stalls against all of those decks. Not to mention, like, if you get 1 or 2 direct attacks off of Spirit Reaper, you're probably just going to win. Because his effect to discard a card from your opponent's hand is so critical. Plus, I like to play a really control style, even though it's an aggressive OTK deck, I like to play control style because when we get into my traps, you're going to see that I play trap cards like, for example, Mind Crush and Trap Dust Shoot. Like, basically, I just want to attack your hand. Because at the end of the day, people think the most valuable resource is the field, whereas, of course, the field plays a lot of, you know, role into the match. If you deplete your opponent's hand, they can't do anything. They won't even have a chance to commit to the field. So Spirit Reaper amazing because he stalls. He's always at least going to be a 1-for-1 because if your opponent activates Econ, that's a 1-for-1. Brain Control, it's a 1-for-1. If they like Deprison, it's a 1-for-1. Like, at least if you're playing this card right, he's always going to be a 1-for-1. So amazing card, great effect. Like, yeah, MVP of the day. So that's it for the monsters. So I'll just do a quick spread. That way you guys can see the monsters again. So Reaper, Sangan, Treeborn, Plague, Double Prodigy, Stratos, Grepher, Double Mali, Spine Gilman, Triple Diva, triple Caius, Glorious Darkness. So that's for monsters.
Easy.
Yeah, very easy. So on to the spells. The spells are definitely a little bit easier to explain. Now, when it comes to the spells in Diva Hero, they're kind of already, in my opinion, like locked. Like there's been a few different variances that I've been playing. Like some versions of the deck, like I played like enemy controller, but we'll just go over the version that I played today. So as far as spells go, Brain Control, best card in the format. It's actually why I lost, in the finals, because my opponent was under deck heavy, and I saw him draw Brain Control for turn, and there was zero way that I could play around Brain Control. If I commit a monster to the board, he Brain Controls it. If I don't commit a monster to the board, he attacks me directly and goes for you. This card, best card in the format. Best card in the format. You know, I understand that every deck is different, but a while ago there was a there was a Blackwing deck that won an RBTE. He's a great player, great player, but he didn't play Brain Control. Guys, this card is cracked. You should be playing Brain Control.
It's a game-winning card.
Yeah, it's literally a game-winning card. So Brain Control, Brain Control and Mind Control. Mind Control is like, Brain Control is like baby brother, right?
Let's not forget
and
the
some cases, Mind Control is even better than Brain Control. Because one, you don't pay any life points. It's just free. And then two, you can take face downs. And there are very few cards in the game that can actually interact with face down monsters. So it's like, you can take your opponent's Raikos, you can take your opponent's tuners, like, it's such a broken card. You can take your opponent's regular monsters and synchro with them, like, Brain Control, Mind Control, yeah, you should be playing. Next up, Rhoda. I only have two targets in the deck, Stratos and Grepher, but I mean, obviously, you want to play as many copies of Stratos as you can. I would play E-Call, but I don't play any heroes other than Stratos, but yeah, Rhoda, great card. Allure, draw a card. There's a lot of darks in the deck, so you can thin through it. MST is at 1, so of course 1 MST. Heavy, obviously, like, unless you're playing, I don't even know, you should be playing Heavy, great card. Future Fusion, MVP, like, send Molly, send Treeborn, like, that's the best case scenario, but even, like, if you have, I don't know, other cards to send, that's fine too. The problem with Future Fusion that I want to say real quick, people think when you open up Future Fusion and Diva Hero, you win. That's not necessarily true. It's not like Dragons. In Dragons, if you open up Future Fusion, like, you're going to win because you send 5 monsters. In this Future Fusion, it always depends. Because if you have Malicious in your hand, you can't send the other Malicious to the grave. Like, you can, but it would be foolish. So it's just like, Future Fusion is only, like, extremely busted when you don't have, like, Malicious in hand. And then you can go, like, synchro with a Diva and, like, make a level 8 behind it as well. But anyway, Future Fusion, amazing card. I do not play Gaia Knight because there's no space in the extra deck. And also, I think the card sucks. So anyway, Future Fusion. Next up, Double Gold Sark. Now, this is a card that a lot of people cut from Diva Hero. And like, the problem that you have to know about Diva Hero is Diva Hero has a lot of consistency issues. So you're gonna pull a lot of hands where it's like, you can't do anything. And Gold Sark solves that problem. Like, for all of you guys who think you could play Diva Hero without Gold Sark, cool. I understand, I think Oscar's list doesn't play double Gold Sark, and like, he's winning with it, so like, congrats to him. But like, his version is also more defensive. So it's like, whereas he's not playing Gold Sark, because he's playing traps to defend himself, like Deep Prison and things like that, like, he can afford more time. But if you're gonna play the offensive version that tries to rush you down and kill you as fast as possible, then you need to be playing Gold Sark. Like, the card is too good. Switch out Heavy, switch out Future Fusion, switch out Dark Arm, switch out Brain Control, switch out a Diva if you need it. Like, card's crap. And last but not least, you guessed it, triple Miracle Fusion, right? Triple Miracle Fusion. Best top deck card in the entire format. Like, I mean, if you play Miracle Fusion, like, it's just, you want to talk about Spirit Reaper being at least a 1-for-1. Like, if you use Miracle Fusion correctly, you're going to generate so much advantage off of it, right? Don't summon Zero into an empty board unless it's going to be for game or you know they don't have anything. Like, Miracle Fusion, it's a free card. You get Absolute Zero. I think Zero is the best monster card in Edison format. Dark Arm, of course, is the best boss monster because he comes by surprise. But Dark Arm and Zero, like, it's close to say which one's better. But anyway, Absolute Zero plays both, so you got that. But anyway, that's the spell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pretty long.
I have a dumb question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I noticed that there's a lot of gold rares here. Is there any reason for that?
Honestly, because I wanted my deck to look shiny and I'm poor. That's the only reason. I wish I had money to get like the ulti versions of everything. So anyway, last but not least, onto the traps. Double bottomless. So my previous list, I only ran 1 singular bottomless, but over time I decided to put 2 in because the troublesome matchups that Diva Hero has, such as like Black Wings or Gladiator Beast or even Vayu Turbo, like, they all get wrecked by this card. So double bottomless. So great card.
Easy.
Next up, yeah, easy, right? Next up, Dust Shoot. This is the Trinity right here. Dust Shoot, Mind Crush, Deck Dev.
It's actually surprising he has Mind Crush and on top of Deck Dev, but he has a separate video that you guys can check out from his channel, A True Hero.
And I explain it in detail. But anyway, I mean, Dust Shoot, if you resolve it, you win a game. Deck Devi, if you resolve it, you're going to win the game. Mind Crush, so if you resolve it, you may win the game, but the reason why I play Mind Crush is because I play Dust Shoot and Deck Devi, right? So you have a high chance of knowing what's in your opponent's hand. Not to mention, even if you don't have any of these cards, you just pull this card raw, a lot of cards in the Edison meta, they search. Think about it. Diva Hero Beat, they have Stratos, they have E-Call. Even Black Wings, they have Whirlwind, right? Like, and even if you don't know, for example, specifically what they have in your hand, you can just make an educated guess, right? So if your opponent is playing Flame Bells, right, call, I don't know, Rekindling, you know what I mean? If your opponent is playing, like, I don't know, Synchro Cat, like, call, like, Cold Wave, or, like, call, like, Rescue Cat, you know what I mean? But you can make an educated guess. If your opponent is in the main phase and they have a Sandgate on the field, like, call, like, Caius, like, you can just make an educated guess. And even if you call wrong, like, you get hand knowledge because they have to reveal their hand. So, great card.
Now, I have a question for you. Yeah. In regards to Deck Dev, how many times has that been a win con in some of your matches?
If I resolve it, I win. It's that simple. If I resolve it, I win. But I actually, depending on the matchup, I sign it out. So I don't keep it in for every single matchup. Like, for example, Gladiator Beast, I'm not keeping Deck Dev.
And you pulled that out twice in, like, the semifinals, or it was in top 4?
Yeah. I pulled it. I played the Amaryllis Burn guy. Really great player. He wound up getting 3rd place in the whole event. I Deck Devied him, and that was it. That was it. You resolve Deck Devi, like, you win. I've been telling people, like, this card is cracked. Like, people, oh, like, I don't know, it's inconsistent. Fine, don't play it. Like, the card's cracked. All right, anyway, moving on. Last but not least, standard, right?
Yep.
The blowout cards.
Yep.
Mirror Force, Solemn Trench, right? So, bang.
Easy.
So I don't believe in playing that many traps. Like, traps are defensive. I just want to play offensive. I just play the most necessary ones. So just a total of 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 8. Not even 3. Oh, wait, I lied. Sorry. I saved the best trap for last. Return. This card, it's just like, the deck banishes cards so easily. And for example, you have Mali Plague. They banish themselves just through their effects. Grepher, Mali Plague, Return, it's like a combo deal. It's like a package that you get out of the store, right? Like, you get them all together. So, anyway. Also, Miracle Fusion naturally banishes cards as well. Your opponent plays Caius, your opponent plays D Prison, like, Return. If you resolve Return, you're going to win. So, there's just so many cards that if you resolve, you win. You resolve Deck Dev, you win. You resolve Return, you win. You know what I mean? Like, you resolve Dust Shoot, you win. Like, I only played the most important crucial traps in the game. You resolve D Prison, like, you're not going to win. Like, you're just going to stall. Not to hate on D Prison, it is a great card. But anyway, that's the main deck. So, getting into the side and extra deck. Alright, so we'll go into the extra deck first. The extra deck's pretty simple and pretty quick, so we'll just do that like really fast. Army Arm for Army Arm OTK. Also works with Diva and Prodigy, and in some cases, you might even have to use them to make a level 6. Like Special Summon Prodigy, Normal Summon Diva, make Army Arm, get a Diva off Diva's effect, make Yugioh or Yugioh. So, you know, Army, great card, good for OTKs. Catastor Standard, Android Standard, Bionic Standard, Standard. I would consider this standard, but whatever. Standard, not standard. So let me explain Red Dragon. The reason why I play Red Dragon is because at the end of the day, sometimes you just need something 3,000. And whereas Colossal like can get to 29 or like 28, like he's not always going to be 3,000. Not to mention his effect's actually good. Guys, like you attack a Pyramid Turtle with this guy, like they lose everything. Like now you have to be smart about when to bring out which one, right? Because Darken and Red Dragon, they can serve the same purpose a lot of the times. So you just have to be smart and then make a good read, right? Because obviously if you go like Red Dragon into Raikou, you're going to be sad, right? In that case, you should have made Darken. But it's a great card just because if it's attack baseline, it has a great effect. It's especially good if your opponent has like a lot of tokens on the field, right? You don't want to send tokens with Darken, right? In that case, you want to make Red Dragon. So Red Dragon is really, really good. Like, don't sleep on Quick Draw. Like, I don't think Quick Draw is like very competitive, but there are a lot of decks that abuse Dandelion tokens. Once again, Amaryllis Burn, they abuse Dandelion, so great card. Anyway, continuing on, standard, like you should play this card. I played against some players, they go like Special Summon Cyber Dragon, Normal Summon Card Trooper, and it's like, what? Contact with their own guys. Like, also in the Machina matchup, you're gonna wish that you had that, so you should be playing it. And of course, 000. So pretty good. And my awesome Gore's token.
So, and you do not run Gaia?
Card sucks. Not good. Don't play it.
Fair enough.
Like, what Earth do you play? Go you Guardian. Good. Done.
Okay, fair enough.
Diamond.
Fair enough.
It's not good. Even if you summon it, it makes something weaker and something. Don't play it. Card sucks.
Fair enough.
All right. Moving on to the last but not least, what everybody I guess is curious about the most is the side deck, right? So here we go. Side deck. We'll start monster spells and traps as well. Consecrated for Black Wings. Now you might wonder, why am I siding Consecrated if I play a lot of darks? Well, first of all, you can just beat them down with Stratos, Diva, Spawn Gilman, Android, right, Synchro, Absolute Zero, and moreover, let's say you have a Kais in your hand and you really want to summon a Dark. Just tribute Consecrated. You can tribute over your Consecrated to some of your own Kais. That's Edison Format. So Consecrated against Blackwings, Snowman Eater against, you know, I'm not going to actually specifically say what each thing is for, because at the end of the day, I want people to decide, you know, how to decide by themselves. Anyway, Snowman Eater, it's just a great card. DD Crow, great card. Double Dyna, great cards. Double Cyber Dragon, Vanity Sphere. So these are like, this is standard. Every side deck should have Cyber Dragon and at least one Crow, I feel like. And then these are like kind of more like situational. But at the end of the day, you need a way to stop your opponent from special summoning, right? So Double Fossil Dyna, Vanity Sphere, like really good. I sided these against the Amaryllis deck, and it helped out a lot. Like, and not just Amaryllis, Quick Draw helps out a lot. Like Frogs demolishes them. So yeah, stop special summons, like great. So that's the monster portion. On to the spells. So for spells, simple. MVP. Smash and Ground MVP. A lot of people like to sleep on Smash and Ground, but like it's just a good generic like 1-for-1. MVP. Really, really good card. Soul Release, amazing against graveyard decks, especially if you're going against Frogs. They like to combo off, put all of their Frogs in the grave, you go Soul Release, all the Treeborns are gone. That's it. And Nobleman, so actually Nobleman and Deck Heavy, they hit the same cards. But the reason why I side both is because sometimes you're not going to have Deck Heavy. So you need Nobleman. I played against one match today where I went Nobleman, I hit triple Raikou, and like that was it. So Nobleman, great card. It's a faster Deck Heavy for when you don't have a Dark. So great. Last but not least, the traps. So the traps, here we go. I'll start with these two. Light Imprisoning Mirror, amazing against Christian Sworn or any light deck, Light Sworns, etc. Fast Restrict for Frogs, obviously. This card shuts them down, they can't do anything. And MVP. MVP trap card of the day. MVP trap card of the day. Real Decree. So pretty much, I was losing a lot against my friends in like playtesting and things like that, because they would always flip up like Oppression, and actually that's why I lost the finals, because of Royal Oppression. They would flip up Oppression, they would have Icarus, they would have Deepers, and they would have all of these traps, and I just got sick and tired of it. And like Dust Tornado just like wasn't doing it. So I was like, there has to be a better way that I could get around these traps. So I was like, oh wait, well, why don't I beat your trap with a trap? And ever since I've been side decking Decree, I've never had a problem against those things. If I would have pulled this like a bit sooner in the finals, then like I would have definitely won, but unfortunately like it came a bit too late. But anyway, that's the deck. That's the deck profile. Like I'm happy to see, one thing I'll say, at this tournament, I saw so many Diva Hero players. And like I like to say, a lot of them kind of took inspiration from like my tournament runs online, like RBT and things like that. So I'm happy to see more people playing Diva Hero. Like if anyone ever has any question about Diva Hero, like just talk to me. You can send me a message. Like shout out to Asian with Hat. Like he's doing good things for the youth community. Like, I mean, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. So.
Also, let's also thank Keegan from E3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he's been really pushing the community. Is there anyone you want to thank from your family, your friends?
I mean, not so much family. I mean, my family, they're not like a big part of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Career, but I guess my mom, she always supports me even though she doesn't really understand what goes on with Yu-Gi-Oh! But I would have to say, like, if there's anyone that I definitely want to support, shout out, right? There's two people that come to mind immediately. First, Stango. Gotta shout out to Stango, because Stango is my hands-down trading partner. Like, we play all the time, literally all the time. And whenever I need to like to prepare for a matchup, like he's always there for me. And even if he doesn't know how to play it, like he'll learn how to play it just for me. That way we could like grind it. Like I've learned so many different matchups just because Stango like plays me so much. So like shout out to Stango. Like I wouldn't be where I am if not for him. Even though like I've been playing longer, but like I gotta give him his credit, man. Like that's the boy, Nicky Stang. And then last but not least, Frazier. Like Frazier, man, like me and Frazier, we go way back. Way back. More than 10 years. We've been, same with Stango, more than 10 years. And like Frazier, he's like my original, like, I gotta like, I learned so much from him by like literally just listening to what he says. And of course now I've gotten better, I have my own opinions, and like Frazier, now he respects what I have to say too. Like now, you know, me and Frazier, like, you know, we have a lot of mutual respect for each other as Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelists. But like when I was up and coming, I would always listen to everything I have to say and the reasoning behind it, and it helped me grow so much. So, you know, he even came in top 4 in this event too. It's like, you know, he's still the king. He's still the king.
The OG king.
The OG king. So shout outs to Stango, shout out to Frazier, like I think, you know, my mom, I think that's everybody.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Cairo.
Alright.
We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. Don't forget to subscribe to A True Hero. My
Of course,
YouTube channel.
True Hero.
All right.
Shout outs, and we'll get you guys in the link.